right. Good evening. How's everybody?
Doing
Good,
great.
how are you?
Everybody doing good?
Yeah.
Not bad.
Yeah, you got rain down in Reading, got rain down in South Philly, got rain everywhere.
Rains. That's all it does anymore. Rains every day.
Man,
Yeah,
it's short.
when did we turn into Seattle?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's supposed to, we got a doubleheader tomorrow, and it doesn't look much better. So we'll see.
Wow.
Yeah, I was gonna say I thought tomorrow it looked like in the forecast was showing some rain as well.
Yeah, it's never even like poured. It's just consistently like a little rain at a time. Never a huge downpour.
The worst kind. Yeah.
Especially for us old people.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
All right. So how we doing? What do we want to talk about?
What do you got on your list?
Um,
Doesn't John have to do fantasy? I mean, this isn't our first rodeo.
I got a full list.
There you go. There you go.
Full list. Yes, John, you're going to bring us up to snuff so we
Absolutely.
get Mrs. O'Brien, make her day happy.
Oh no, she's not happy right now. She's dropping. She's dropping faster than the Titanic right now.
Uh-oh.
Oh yeah, she's down to 32.
Oh, no.
Oh yeah.
Oh, boy.
She's not even on the leaderboard if we had a second one. She's all mad because Tyler passed her. She goes, "How did Tyler pass me?" I'm like, "Well, I don't know. What can you do? It's just the way things go." I mean, Harper gets hit yesterday. First thing I get a text message. Can I change him out? I'm like, not until next Monday. Not until next Monday. And that's if he even gets to if he's out. He might miss a couple of the games or whatever, and but it happens. Just part of fantasy sports.
All right. Well, how about the other 31 players?
Well, the other 31 players are doing well. It's week 8. We got an 8th leader again. Joe Tomzak.
Another new leader. All right.
Yeah, a brand new leader again. It's going crazy there with the leaderboards. It's popping up here and there, changing all the time. Tyler finally snuck on there. So yeah, he's. My mom's not happy about that. Tyler took her spot. So
now look at Wharton. Wharton sitting in the 5 spot.
Yeah, he's up there.
4 spot.
Yeah, Carl, you were up there too, I believe. Somewhere. Where were you? You were.
I don't know. I don't see me.
No, I don't see you either. You were up there last week, and then you just dropped off.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's going well, and
good.
Yeah, everybody except for my mom is happy with the way it's going. So,
all right.
What can you do?
All right, very good. Keep playing.
Yeah.
Playing. Keep picking new players. Right on Monday.
Yeah, that's all you gotta do. I mean, she already has her. She already threw Harper to the curb. She already had a replacement and everything. It's cutthroat in the O'Brien family. That's for sure.
All right. Well, let's dissect this a little bit because it seems to be the talk of the town in Philly anyway. For retribution for Bryce getting hit last night.
Yeah.
Now, just bringing everybody on the page up to date. Harper was hit a couple of times over the weekend as well.
Right.
So he seems to be the target, we'll call it. And last night he took one off of his surgically repaired elbow, went down in a heap, and was out of the game. But I guess my question is, why no elbow pad? I mean, why aren't you wearing the elbow pad for incidents like this?
Exactly. No, I agree. Because didn't he have like the bionic arm before? Like,
he had the whole shield. Right, he had the whole shield.
Yeah, like the one that Barry Bonds used to use, and
yep.
Yeah, I don't know, and of course he gets hit there, especially after getting hit like you said in Anaheim there.
I don't know. He could have pegged him any cleaner. I honestly don't. Intentional, not intentional. I don't know. What do you guys think about that?
I mean, I don't think it was intentional. You know, he's already hit 4 guys coming back off of surgery, Strider. So his control's not, you know, where it needs to be, you know, in normal.
Oh no, he seemed pretty close all night. You know what I mean? And I just see that one pitch that got away from him. So
Yeah.
I'm having second thoughts about it.
Yeah, I mean,
What kind of second thoughts?
What kind of second thoughts?
Mm-hmm.
Well, I think you can feel my blood pressure rising. I just think that he was targeted and he hit him. It was as intentional as it can be.
So it was intentional or it wasn't?
It was intentional. Yeah, he went after him. There's no doubt. No doubt. I just think first inning. I'm just like I'm not feeling the love there. And then did you see his stupid interview after the game? It got even worse. Then he tried to defend himself.
What'd he say?
Oh, basically, I wasn't throwing at him. Why would I want to, pretty much put the best player in baseball out of the game? The game needs him. I don't know. He used a couple crazy words that.
Well, he wasn't a complete psychopath and wanted to see the guy hurt.
Yeah, there you go. Psychopath. Imagine that. Psychopath. I wasn't throwing at him at 95. Then what were you doing?
He was. I honestly think he was just throwing inside, but Harper gets thrown inside a lot.
Oh, 100% agree.
Yeah.
100% agree. I just
more so. I didn't have a problem with that happen. I mean, yeah, obviously you don't want to see that happen, but more the issue is that none of the Phillies pitchers went after any of the Braves guys the next day.
And that seems to probably be the bigger subject, that none will retaliate.
Right.
It's not the Philly way.
Yeah. And in yesterday's game was the perfect spot because it was early in the game. Like if it was the 7th or 8th and in in a 1-run game, then obviously you can't do it in that particular game because you put a guy on base and the winning run's at the plate now. And you hit a home run and you give up a home run and you're losing the game.
Don't you need to send a message, John? Whatever happened to good old baseball?
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Whatever happened to the game?
Well, it's gotten soft. This new generation's all soft, but
I think you'd say that for all sports.
Well, you're absolutely. Every sport is definitely, because they're playing for the future. They have more thinking of other goals, that they can play an extra year longer instead of, doing the dirty things or,
Sure.
Hey, if I only play 40 games this year, then I get an extra 2 more years on the back end of the contract because I didn't play, 162 games or whatever, or 80 in the basketball season.
Right.
So yeah, it's definitely different for sure.
Well, let me paint the picture a little bit bigger, a little brighter. Say the game's out of control, and it's in the Braves' favor. Are we then targeting somebody?
Well, I mean, it makes it a lot easier, sure. And like I said, I just think in yesterday's game it was the perfect thing because, like you said, Ranger was coming back in the second. It was a second inning, so even if you gave up a run in the second inning, you still have your 8 innings still to go for as bad and to make up that extra run and more so it shows you're defending your own teammates and getting their backs.
Yeah, I don't know. I just I don't know. Not a fan. I think I think you need to. I mean, especially being hit, a couple of previous games. You can't tell me they're not, they're not coming inside with the intent that if I hit them, oh well. You know what I mean?
I don't know that they're worried about that yet, but I mean, they got to pitch them inside, to get them going, off the plate.
Well, you don't. All you have to do is pitch it outside, and he'll go after it. So I don't know what technology they're using, because everything he swings at is away. So.
And if he's locked in on it, though, he hits it out the left center field, though, too. So
yeah, and how often is that? So
only 7 times this year.
How many at bats? Thank you. All right, so Phillies take care of game 1, 2-0. That's the good thing. Hey, here's another positive for you. What do you think the Phillies' record is in their past 100 games? So obviously it takes you into last year.
Right.
The past 100 games.
They are probably about 10 games over 500.
70-30 in their last 100 games. Yeah. Go ahead. Check your sources.
All right. Oh, hey, if that's where they're at, yeah. Because
why you don't?
Well, I know coming the way it was, they were like 500 from like June after the London series. So so the 100 games is past that. So they got back onto a winning streak there.
So we got another Tyler on board. Hi, Dad. Also, Carl, should Wheeler throw at Acuna tomorrow? No, I'm not. No, you got to pick. I think like your dad said, you got to pick your spot. And I don't think Wheeler on Acuna is picking the spot.
Right.
I don't think Wheeler is that kind of guy anyway.
No, he's not. But he's also from Atlanta, and he just want to beat the brains off of the Braves. So
sure.
And plus that'll be the second game of tomorrow's, things too. So if anything, it should have been taken care of yesterday. And then if anything, it would be done early, with Christopher Sanchez tomorrow. But it's
Anthony, you're awful quiet, Mr. Baseball. You have no thoughts, or you're still waterlogged.
No. I mean, I don't really have any thoughts. I think you should be able to throw inside. I don't care who the player is, especially Bryce Harper. I think you should be able to throw inside on him, of all guys. But I don't think you. I don't think that anyone's. I mean, maybe he was, but I don't think anyone in their right mind would throw out anyone in the first inning. Like, what the hell's the point of that? Unless you're trying to start some type of rumble. But I don't know. I don't really have a great.
Yeah, I just weigh the Strider personality versus the Phillies. There's been a little bit of bad blood there in the past.
Well, I mean, that's how it is. They talk nonsense on him, so he likes to give it back to them, and he feeds right into it. He knows what he's doing.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
So I think it's all in, good fun for the most part. He's talking garbage but I don't know in that case. I don't know that he's in the first inning. I don't see why you would throw at someone unless he got away from him.
I don't think Harper thinks it's good fun because he's
Harper needs to grow up a little bit and not be so. He needs to be a leader for that team and stop worrying about getting thrown at and start winning some championships for the team. That's what Harper should be doing.
Tyler's home from school.
Oh yeah,
and we're stuck with him.
Couple weeks from now, I'll be throwing them left and right. Welcome to town.
Yeah, next weekend, right?
Yeah. But no, I mean, of all people, Bryce Harper should be able to take an inside pitch. I mean, geez, he's supposed to be the face of the league. Come on.
Well, you know what? I started the conversation. I think the bigger issue that I have, if I had a surgically repaired elbow that was out there open like that, I'd have a guard on it. I mean, everybody else wears them.
Yeah, I don't know why he doesn't wear this. Some guys, I guess, because of comfortability. But if you have something that's injured like that, you have to
absolutely got to protect yourself.
Yeah. So I don't know. I don't know what the solution to that is. I mean, people are gonna keep throwing inside to him, and he still has that elbow issue. So I don't know what the solution is.
Well, yeah, throwing inside makes them more vulnerable, going outside because they got them all tied up.
Yeah. The only thing too is like it looked a little odd the way he didn't turn away from the ball, like turn his body in.
I think it came on him so fast.
Well, yeah. I mean, it's different. 95 mile an hour, it's coming on you fast. But like the way he jumped, it almost seemed like he caught it himself, type of thing. And I don't know if he thought he had his guard on, that he was jumping into using the guard as a protection.
Right.
But hitting that back of the elbow like that, that puts your arm, numb for a little while.
Well, we're gonna find out the severity of it, as the days move forward. We're not hearing anything yet. Thompson said he'd have more on it tomorrow.
Right.
So I guess we'll see. We'll see where we're at there.
Yeah, they were able. They got away with it with no game today. That it makes it easier for them not to have to say anything.
Right. So, yeah. So
it'll be interesting with 2 games tomorrow too. Like if he sits out one of them, being doubled up, on top of it. Even if he was going to play today, type of thing. If playing the 2 games tomorrow would, be an issue or not.
All right. So we can come back to the Phillies, time permitting, but I have another sensitive issue that I need to bring to this. What's so funny?
I can't imagine what the sensitive issue is.
Well, it pertains to my Flyers,
Okay.
and apparently, I don't know anything other than what I read, and I read a lot of hockey guys out of Canada, but apparently the case where Carter Hart was involved with is on the verge of being thrown out of court. Thrown out, no charges, so on and so forth. My question to you guys, and I know you deep down inside you're hockey people, you're there for me.
Really deep.
We got your back.
100%. 100%. I know. That's why I said it was sensitive. So, you guys are snickering, your face is off. You can't even keep a straight face. So do you re-sign Carter Hart and bring him back because you're in need of a goaltender? I mean, does that make any sense? Does that make him more desirable
I'll say this. I don't know how the situation's going to look. A lot of times players get accused of something and it gets thrown out or doesn't happen. I mean, Trevor Bauer's been trying to get back in the league for a long time and he's getting no chance and he's been sort of blackballed. I don't know that just because, in this situation might be different, but his recent history seems to state that people are not going to want to sign him or there's going to be a unwritten rule not to sign him. Now, I don't know if that's accurate, but it seems to happen a lot in other sports lately. So we'll see.
So Matthew Peterson, even if found not guilty, he's guilty in the court of public opinion.
Mm-hmm.
What the hell does that mean?
Once something hits the newspaper and it says that you are accused of something,
you might as well be guilty.
You might as well be guilty because people do not read
and they don't
see what happens. So they forget. All they remember is you were in the news for something bad and you're a bad person. So Trevor Bauer and other people, you don't get a chance after that. And it's not right, but it happens sometimes. So, yeah.
Yeah, I would agree. I would agree with Matthew Peterson. It's a PR nightmare. And the last thing the Flyers need is more PR.
Yeah, they're starting to get on a roll. The last thing they want to have, he's answering questions about why he's doing so well saving, and someone brings up a stupid question, which you know is inevitable. And you don't need it. It's just a shame. It's not right. And
so there's no second chance in Philly. Is that what you're telling me?
I'm not saying that.
No, I don't think it's in Philly. I think it's specific to the issue. I think it's specific to what he's been accused of. There are some things that people can overlook.
Drugs.
And that is not one of them.
Yeah, drugs. Something
Same
like
thing
that.
with Odubel Herrera. There are some things you can never come back from. And that is probably the number one thing. You get into a car accident because you're driving under the influence, that's one thing. Drugs, like Anthony said, that's another. But you get into any type of abuse, whatever it might be, there's no coming back from that.
I mean, now what? Not impossible. He could go overseas. He could play a couple of years. Someone could need him if he's not blackballed from the league because the powers that be don't want him there. But no, it's not. It has nothing to do with Philadelphia. It has to do with the world.
I don't think anyone in the league would sign it.
It's the world that we live in right now, and maybe that might be different. Maybe we're wrong and they do that. But recent history has showed teams aren't doing that.
Well, somebody can correct me if I'm wrong, but I think a couple of the guys were still playing, through all of this that were supposedly accused as well.
On NHL teams?
Yes. Yeah.
Well, maybe those teams will sign him then because they don't mind the disruption. But,
yeah.
Well, and who knows all the facts, but wasn't he supposedly just a bystander?
Yes. Yep. But again, that's what we're reading. That's
exactly. So he wasn't completely. And he was
but the problem is, John, just the headlines itself. No one reads anything. They just see the headline, what happened. They're like, "This guy's a loser. Get rid of him," and that's the end of that.
Yeah, it's a tough one. It's a tough call. I'm not making light of the subject, but I just thought if it's thrown out of court and everyone's cleared and sent home and able to redo their lives and get things, back in order, why
maybe
not?
Maybe in a couple years, but not anytime soon, unfortunately.
Yeah,
and you also have no idea what kind of hockey shape he's in.
Yep. Because
he hasn't been playing. So unless he's been working out and training every day on his own, hoping that this might be the case.
Yep.
He could be, a year rusty at this point.
All right. Well, let's turn the page and let's talk about Ian LaPerriere. He's back with the Flyers. He's back in a front office position, hockey operations. Pretty cool move by the team. I kind of like it.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it keeps him around, in the organization.
Keeps him around, but that seems like a lame position for him. He seems like a guy who likes to be in the action and likes to be, behind the bench. And I think, sorry, you didn't get the head coaching job. So here's a front office gig that you can have so that you're not mad at us.
Well, is it, I don't know how people would look at it is if he was an assistant coach on a team instead of being an assistant, would it look more eye appealing? I think the kind of guy that he is. I feel like he likes to be in the action, in the working with the guys, in the locker room, practice, that sort of stuff. This is like a fluff job.
Fluff.
You know what I mean? It's like, yeah, that guy looks good. Okay, well, maybe we'll sign him. Okay, see ya.
Well, I think it might go a little deeper than that. I'm thinking, he may be involved on ice with a lot of the young players and, but I saw him as a candidate for the head coaching job, but I guess, there's more to that than I'll ever know, but just good to see him in the Flyers organization.
Sure.
Do you have this feeling? I've heard other people talk on the radio and different things, not just in Philadelphia, but other hockey teams. I feel like there's a lot of retreads, a lot of the same guys over and over and over and over and over and over. And I'm just tired of hearing it. I mean, I don't even follow hockey as much as I did when I was younger. And anytime I hear there's a new coach, it's the same coach that either coached someone else or was a player a couple of years ago. Can't anyone look deeper? And so I don't feel like I see the same 6 names over and over. I mean, it just seems silly.
Yeah, I give the Flyers credit because they've tried to go outside the box, on a couple of occasions. Didn't quite work out. Sounds like the Boston Bruins are getting ready to hire, a college coach. Yeah,
you would think one of these teams would hire a coach from Minnesota or Vermont or one of these teams that are good all the time. Like, why do we always have to use the same 7 coaches in rotation.
Hey, I hear you. No, I'm with you. I'm with you. You know,
Well,
I'm with you.
Would the college game translate to the pros though?
Well, we're never going to know unless someone gets a chance. You know,
Well, we had Hextall here, and it didn't work well.
right? Well, that's one guy.
Well,
Yeah.
they put him in. You know, they put him in a tough position.
He was definitely in a tough
because
spot.
he then went out to Seattle and did pretty well out there.
Right.
You know what I mean? It was a different team, more veteran oriented, and I mean it was a new team too. You know what I mean? I mean it was a team just getting started. You know, and he did a hell of a lot better out there than he did here. So
no, true.
You know, I'm just wondering, you know, being the coach in Philadelphia, you know, how difficult it can be. So,
well, I mean, you haven't won in over 50 years, so you want it makes it a little bit.
How about that? 5 decades.
Yeah.
There's a couple other teams. There's a couple other teams that are ahead of the Flyers for Buffalo being one of them, and who was the other one? Vancouver. Buffalo and Vancouver.
Vancouver got close. Well, that one year they got close, 94. That's a long time ago too.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. I mean, it's.
Go ahead, John.
No. I was going to say just a thing. You think it's having a new coach with Hackstall, that he learned how to go, coach a little bit, and then he went out to Seattle. And,
sure, I'm sure he learned a lot. You know
right.
what I mean? I'm sure he took a lot with him.
Unfortunately, we get a lot of guys like that. Like Terry Francona was that way too with the Phillies, and then
now he's a Hall of Fame coach,
right?
Or a Hall of Fame, soon to be Hall of Fame manager, right?
Right. Yeah, exactly.
Where is he now? Cincinnati. I was shocked he took that job.
Yeah.
After leaving Cleveland, being so close.
Uh-huh.
That was a great segue there, John. I see what you did. You know what I mean? But yeah, Terry Francona, good guy too, right?
Oh yeah,
very well respected by the players. And Cincinnati doing anything? I don't follow them.
They're hanging around. They're not. I mean, they're that whole division though. Is kind of mediocre to begin with. So
yeah. They got one of the best young players in all of baseball, though, right? De La Cruz.
Yeah.
Ellie.
No, he's also got more strikeouts than I think. Who is it? He's got
than your Cruz.
No, I'm not. Well, I don't know about that. Yes, he has more than Mike Cruz, but he has many strikeouts as Tony Gwynn for his whole career.
Already, yeah.
I mean, that's horrendous. That's horrible.
Yeah, and talking about your Cruz. I mean, O'Neill, did you see that home run? 122 point.
Well, we saw him hit 3 home runs when we were there in 2 games.
Oh yeah, were you there for that 122?
Yeah,
right?
we were there on Friday and Saturday. Had 3 home runs.
He went in the water, right?
Yep.
That was Sunday.
That was Sunday, but he hit it it's like the hardest hit ball of all time that they got registered.
Yeah, they said that it went into the middle of the river.
Yeah.
The 2 highest recorded StatCast era balls were by him.
Yeah, he broke his own record.
The problem is sometimes he hits too hard. I mean, there's times where it doesn't go out and it hits the wall, and instead of a double or triple, it's a single because it hits so hard.
Ricochets back too fast.
I mean, he's definitely going to be the all-star on the team this year, and he's not striking out, but he's striking out way less than he did the year before. So, he had
another home run today.
Yeah, he got another home run today. They won 10-1 or something.
Yeah.
He's looking good so far.
All right. Well, another great segue into Pirates talk. You guys were in Pittsburgh for the weekend.
Mm-hmm.
Seemed to enjoy yourself. I mean, the pictures don't lie.
It was good. It was very good.
Anybody that doesn't follow Lauren, you need to follow Lauren. Pigs is not on social media, so you have to go through his publicist for everything.
That's me. Yep.
That's you. That's you. So how was the trip? Can we talk about it a little bit? I mean, seemed like the drinks were flowing. The food was good.
Yeah, it was good. It was a good one. We got to Friday night's game and Saturday's game. We skipped out on Sunday to head back home a little bit earlier than normal. Friday, Where'd we go Friday? Oh, we ventured out to Iron City Brewery, which is kind of on the outskirts of Pittsburgh. It's probably about 20 minutes outside of that to take a walk around. We didn't have a tour scheduled, so we didn't do any of that, but we walked around. So that's pretty cool. It's in this very tiny little town. That was our first time that we'd been out there, so that was cool. We like to hit our normal spots that we always do, but we also like to try to factor in something new that we've never done before, so we don't get like stuck in our sort of same routine.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good.
You saw the one picture with the NFL draft, the
Yeah.
sign for that area. Are they doing a lot of renovations or work there for?
Well, there's a
ready?
park, so that's on the side by
That's
between.
kind of down from the stadium set up a little bit.
It's by Heinz Field between there and PNC Park, and
Right.
Well, the park across the river, the where it comes to a V like a triangle, that's a state park, Point State Park, and the most of that park is under renovation this year in anticipation of the draft next year.
Is that where they're going to have it, in that park?
I don't know if they're going to have it specifically at that park, but which is a lot of room. It makes sense to have it at that park, but I think
Parking will be terrible.
Yeah, I
right
think
in that area,
I think just for television purposes and making sure the fountain's all up to date and all the lights work and all that stuff, they just needed to take the summer off to get it all fixed because it is pretty old.
Yeah.
But no, everything was good there. The restaurants seemed busy. I mean, it was a good time. It was a little chillier than expected. It was one day you started with shorts and a sweatshirt, and then you had to put pants on, and as soon as you put that on, you're sweating because it was just a lot of back and forth over the weekend. But it was good. We didn't really get any rain or anything. It was good.
Yeah.
So I'll ask another sensitive question. Everything's in place for next weekend?
Everything is in place. Yeah, I mean, as in place as I am at this point ahead of the
Not the
trip.
answer I'm looking for. Phillies Pirates, come on now.
We got a place to stay and tickets for Friday.
That's all you need.
Yeah.
That's more. Yeah.
That's all you need.
What are we?
What else
We
do you need?
sneaking in the other games?
Well, we'll fight.
We just haven't gotten to that yet.
My hopping over fences days are over.
No hopping over any fences. That'll get you kicked out.
Yeah. So, Pigs, you'll find this interesting. Your boy Goose, has he contacted you? Because he's been all over me the past 24 hours.
Just once the other day when they won, and then he said something the other day when they got their butt kicked that he was really tired of the regime, but not too much. I mean, that's more than I've heard from him in a while.
He's trying because when I told him, that I was heading out, he goes, "I'll bet you're going with Lauren and Anthony." I'm like, "Of course I am.
That makes
Of course
sense.
I am." You know what I mean? Of course I am. He goes, "I'm trying to get there. Can we hang out?" I'm like, "Well, you have to go through my, Lauren and Anthony." So
Can we hang out? He's got to get there first, then we can talk.
I
about
know,
hanging out.
right?
Exactly.
Right? So, Lauren, we got an interesting text message from Tony about
sure did.
about the 82 Penn State players, the 82 Penn State championship players. One of which is his neighbor,
Right.
Tom Barr, and the other two, I guess, live out that way. One being, help me out, John, Greg Garrity, one of the wide receivers that was on the team. But the one guy, Conti, Bob Conti, he wrote a book. The three guys are pretty interesting, so we need to make time for them on Sunday morning. It's at some Playland, and I think we may have gone there. Correct me?
It's on Friday. So
Is it Friday?
the lunch is on Friday at 11:30.
Okay.
Yeah, it's at the Putt Shack in the Strip District, which I'm familiar with. We have not been there before.
Okay. I thought that was the place where all the games were.
It's a similar spot. That's Coupe de Ville. That's also a good spot. Putt Shack is like an indoor mini golf experience, I would say.
All right.
There's another one similar. What is that other golf one called that we did before?
Pottery.
The Puttery. That's right. So that's kind of like the competition in the area. We did the Puttery. We weren't super impressed by the Puttery. We've never been to the Putt Shack though. But that is where the lunch is supposed to be taking place on Friday.
Excellent. All right. Well, we got some things planned.
Friday seems like it's shaping out to be something.
What time are we leaving Thursday? Mom was asking me.
I think you said you were going to be to my house at 1.
There you go. That's what I told her. I said, I thought 12, 1 o'clock.
Yep.
So, all right. Very good. So that's the Pittsburgh trip this past weekend, and the next one coming up next weekend, Phillies versus Pirates. Are we doing Sunday's game as well, or no?
Mm-hmm.
We are. We're doing all 3?
Yep.
Nice. Very good.
So, Carl, when you're out there, what's your favorite spot other than the games?
Good question.
I don't know. I don't have time to think. They have me on such. By the end of the night, I can't even walk.
You're just here. We're going this way. Just don't ask questions.
Just giddy up and go.
Well, what has been your favorite spot then? I guess that you've been to. Let's go there.
Believe it or not, what's the name of the winery?
It's called City Winery.
Yeah, City Winery, because they had Jethro Tull.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Last time I was there, we walked right into that. So sometimes plans that aren't made are your best plans.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That's why I don't make them.
That was cool. I mean, I like everything about PNC Park. I like the whole outside.
Mm-hmm.
You run into people that you least expect to, and then you run into Charlie Hayes, all the time.
We did not see him this past weekend.
We didn't see him.
Oh, he'll be in town for Phillies Pirates.
Yeah, we didn't see him. I think there'll be a lot of people in town. So
heavens, yes.
That's why we made it a point to get out there this past weekend so that we could sort of have like our normal Pittsburgh trip, because the Phillies one is always a little different compared to what we normally do. But yeah, I mean, right on Federal Street, right? That's right outside the stadium. Saturday, I'm pretty certain there's a block party again, like we did last year, but they have not announced if there's going to be any alumni signing.
That was my next question, because Chris Hewlin was asking me about Kent Ticovey.
Yeah, they haven't announced that yet. If there is going to be anybody, I'm sure there will be, but they're normally like the week of. So maybe by like Monday or Tuesday, they'll announce that. That game's also at 4:05 that day. So that allows you some time afterwards. We ended up going somewhere for dinner, which is one of our Italian spots we like to go to. So we were able to do that. I like that. I like when the game's a little bit earlier on a Saturday. So you're able to still do something later that night.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Good stuff.
Yep.
Good stuff. Anytime you can get away and clear space in your brain.
Well, then I'll go with you guys then. What's your guys' favorite like little hideaway spot for people that are going out there?
That's tricky.
There's so many things.
There is a small like eatery type place right next to the Clemente Museum. It's actually owned by the guy who owns the Clemente Museum's daughter. It's called Lola's. And they have really good breakfast sandwiches. So we got a breakfast sandwich from there on Saturday.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Saturday morning. It's very cute. It's very little, but it's very busy. So it can get crowded pretty quick. But that's a good spot. We like that one.
Mm-hmm.
We go to that Italian restaurant I was talking about. It's called Ghirsoli's. It's basically in the guy's basement of a row home.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, he's done his best to expand and give as many tables as possible in there. Also, for a basement, I've never been in such a hot restaurant. It's like 75 degrees in there on Saturday night. It's like 8 o'clock at night, and it's like 75 in there. I've never been in a basement that's warm like that. One time we went in the summer, and I don't know why. Maybe his air just wasn't working, or maybe at this point he doesn't have any air. It was like 87 degrees on the thermostat that I could see. Wow. I was dying. I mean, it wasn't even like enjoyable at that moment. It's not normally like that, but it's good there. The guy that owns its name is Pie. That's got to be a nickname of some kind. He's always in there, and he's always drinking wine when we see him.
My kind of guy.
I aspire to be him when I get old.
Pie Trainer, any relation?
I think it's like a nick. I think his real name is James, maybe. So I don't know what his last name is. But you know how old people have no like filter or concern for how they sound. So there's a hostess and he's yelling to her. He's like, "There's two at the door. There's two at the door." And she turns around. She's like, "I know, I see them." But he's so concerned about us standing there for too long.
By the way, we're there for about 6 seconds.
Yeah, we weren't there for very long at all. And it's so busy in there. So it's no problem. We can stand here for a second.
Very cool.
But yeah, he's always in there drinking wine. And I love it.
Yeah,
But yeah, this is that time of year where I start to get Facebook messages from all kinds of people asking where they should go, what they should see, where they should stay. We become a little Pittsburgh travel
I think they
agency.
should do what we do is just kind of, I guess, I get a little bit of a break because I've been there a million times, but to learn all these places, we just kind of drove around in the different neighborhoods and you kind of find things as you go. So no one told us about any of those places until we happened upon them.
Sure.
So
You just give them a try.
you just stay safe and do it.
With the Phillies being in town, will the Clemente Museum be open for any tours, or have you heard anything?
The problem with the Clemente Museum
They're smart.
sometimes is that you have to make pre-reservations. So I'm sure those are booked, if not fully booked, very close to being booked. I might open that as more of an open house a weekend like that where people are in town. You pay $21, you walk through on your own instead of a guided tour. But it's not my museum. But you would think it would be open, and the wine cellar downstairs would be open.
Now that is my favorite spot in Pittsburgh, but
it's rarely open.
Rarely open. He has a winery downstairs. It's so cool.
It's beautiful.
It's like a wine cellar.
I don't think I've been there 2 or 3 times. I don't think I even knew there was a cellar.
Yeah, and actually, isn't it like a little bit of a museum as well? In the
down
where
there,
am I thinking of Tony Gwynn?
No, he's got down there. He's got there are beautiful photos and autographs and that stuff on the wall, and you could buy a barrel of wine that I forget what they call it, but maybe holds like 250 bottles of wine.
Okay,
and it might be like, I'm making this up, like $21,000 because everyone's 21, and they donate a portion to whatever, and then you get to have so many bottles of wine on your own from that barrel. But it's players have it. Sean Casey's got one. I think
Francisco
Cervelli's got one. There's a bunch of guys, and that's how they do some of their money. But it's great to have the guided tour. I mean, they do a fantastic job. The problem is, the casual person that doesn't know that just wants to drive there that morning, walk in and look around, and sometimes you get turned down, which is not ideal.
They have some of the wine for sale upstairs in like the little gift shop area, but the real experience is being able to go downstairs. And Dwayne, who is the owner, is very passionate about wine. And so a lot of the wine I drink now actually came from different recommendations that he's made and different wines that he's allowed us to try down there. For our wedding, we had custom wine bottles made from him that he was able to take our wedding invitation and turn it into a wine bottle and use some of that wine. So it is really cool. I wish it was more of a public place, or at least something that you could maybe book like a group of 10 people to be able to go down there and like
you probably could
drink and experience it.
Easy as it should be.
Yeah, but he does a lot with players that are out of town. So any team that's rolling through, I guarantee you the Phillies will be there Friday or Saturday night after the game, especially Saturday since it's a bit earlier.
I think he said
they really enjoy
his
that.
daughter last time or a couple of years ago, I forget. Bryce Harper was there and he really wanted pasta. Well, they don't really make pasta, but she,
figured it out
and fed all the players down in that basement. He loves touring these players around and showing them that basement.
Nice.
I just hope they give him some money for that, because it is a nonprofit after all.
And he does spend a lot of time on it.
Yep.
Very cool. Well, we'll spread the word that if anybody needs info on the Pittsburgh trip, I'll spread your cell phone number out there. And
definitely, please, especially my cell phone number. Yeah,
484-333-220.
Anyone, I mean, you're welcome to send me a Facebook message. I was just talking to Cheryl A. Strike this morning because they're going to go out. They're trying to get to Sunday's game. And she was asking me some questions about where to sit, tickets, that sort of thing. So
Nice.
happy to, chat with anyone. But once again, we do things that are very specific to us and what we like. My boss's daughter lives out there, and he's like, "Have you ever been to the botanical garden?" Nope, I've never been to the botanical garden, and I don't see us going to the botanical garden. So, we do stuff that we like. So, like Anthony said, look some stuff up and do things that you guys like, and it's a good time.
Yeah.
Very cool. Dennis Malloy, thanks for bringing luck to the Bucks.
You're welcome.
There you go. There you go.
You could use a lot of luck.
There you go. All right. So, where were we last? I'm trying to think if we had discussion with our resident GM about the Sixers and number 3 draft pick. Do we get a chance to pick your brain about that?
I think you asked her,
Yeah,
and she says she wasn't thrilled.
Yeah, we chatted about it, and I said that I don't think that number 3 pick, whoever it is going to come in and take the team by storm. I think there's other things that still need to happen for the team to even be a hair competitive more than they were last season.
Right.
So,
yeah. I wasn't sure how much we discussed it and where things are. I know there's a lot of rumors floating around about them trying to trade Paul George and the number 3 pick. John loves this.
Yeah.
And just,
is that still for Kevin Durant?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's one of them. Yeah, that's one of them.
I'm eager to see how many guys actually want to play with Joel Embiid. I wonder if that's a thing anymore.
I'm eager to see how many more washed up past their peak of their career guys we can get through Philadelphia at this rate.
Well, those guys are just stealing your money is what they're doing.
There's got to be a couple more. Come on.
Well, that's what I said before, and I never say it lightly unless it's. But I feel like those guys at the Sixers at top have been there for a long enough time, and they gotta maybe move on at this point because they've not really done anything. I mean, nothing has worked properly, and if you're not going to build around this guy properly, and you're just going to get another old person, then it might be time to just.
They get as many passes as the Pirates front office does.
Well, the thing though is with having Embiid, there isn't really much of a way that they can go. They're in the same situation because they don't have much cap space. They got, they just went and got Paul George. He was the only one that was willing to come here because they gave him the max contract. And nobody else, we've been saying it on the show here for years. Who wants to come and play with Embiid? You know what I mean? It's his team, so it's like, and now it's even worse because he's not even able to play, and it's like, who's going to want to come here?
Well, that's the biggest, thought against the management team is that, you're in a bad spot because you really needed to move him after he won the award. And now that he's older and he's not in shape or whatever the heck he's got going on, now you can't get anything for him, I imagine. So what are you going to do? You're in a horrible spot. You got no choice but to build around him, but you get no money to build around him, and you want to get rid of him, but no one wants him.
Yeah, we spend an awful lot of time, talking about Embiid and the Philadelphia, landscape of basketball. And, I look around the league, you got the guy in Milwaukee, he wants out, Giannis, he wants out, you got so many factions of different brands of basketball, and you look at where we're at with the Final Four, right? And you're going to end up having OKC and the Pacers in the finals. I mean, right. TV revenue's got to love that setup.
Oh yeah, you got the biggest markets in basketball right there.
And you just look around the league, and they're just. You look at how good the Heat were for years. With who is it, Pat Riley out there? You know what I mean? And all the wheeling and dealing they've done. Yeah. Same thing with the Lakers, and we can't talk about the Warriors because how many rings does Steph Curry have? 4.
Yeah.
But you just look around the league, and it seems to be that whole issue that comes down to like maybe one or two superstars on every team, and they all have the same problems, as far as maintenance days and time off and injuries and not getting along with the coach. It's just not here in Philly. I mean, it's all over basketball.
Oh no, it's true. It is true that it's all over, but we don't care about what everybody else is doing. We're worried about what's happening here.
At the end of the day, though, John, we're talking about the guys who do and don't want to play with Embiid. Well, they've got the same issues in their own town with guys that are similar to that. So it.
Well, everybody that has a problem like Kevin Durant or Giannis that wants to go somewhere else, they want to go because they want to win. And B just wants to go because he wants to stay here because he's getting paid the most. He can stay here, and the ball's got to be his thing. And as long as he's got $700 million in his bank account, he doesn't give a crap. He's the big fish in like Lauren said many times, the small pond right here, and so he wouldn't if he had the balls like any of these other guys. He would ask me to leave and go to say, the Clippers or to the Lakers or whoever this next best team is, and go play with them, and try to win. But he's just a constant loser. It's just it is. There's no other way to say it. I mean,
did I introduce the rant too early, or this is the rant?
Well, I mean, you can always make a rant about Embiid. I mean, that's. But it is about the NBA, but not about Embiid. But
all right, well, let's hear it.
The refereeing in basketball is hard.
We didn't get your graphic first. That's my favorite part.
Oh,
yeah, it's a requirement.
It's a requirement.
Yeah, I love all the little icons that pop up.
Yeah, there you go. Get the popcorn. There we go.
The smoke coming out of your ears is my favorite one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. But yeah, the refereeing in basketball is just absolutely horrendous, and in a lot of spots too. But
how bad is it?
Oh, it's bad. It's bad. I mean, if they would have the balls, they could actually control the games as well, and you wouldn't have all this flopping going around and all this complaining going around. We watched the game Oklahoma and whoever they're playing,
Minnesota.
And Rudy Gobert, the first 2 minutes of game 3 is just like pushing everybody around, just running into him like he's Godzilla, and pushing them all around. And then the first time he drives down the lane, and the guy like maybe put a tissue on him, he's complaining about a foul. I'm like, dude, what? They shouldn't allow all that rough stuff going on if they're then going to call it in a crunch time, and it's going to be a ticky-tack call, and then they call it, and then you wonder why guys are bitching and complaining and flopping as much as they do. If they would just come out and set the tone right away. If Rudy Gobert is pushing everybody around, give him a foul, and it's going to stop quick. And let them actually play basketball instead of hacking each other, flopping on the ground. I mean, when did basketball become soccer? And everybody's trying to get a foul. So yeah, it's the NBA referees got to take the control of the games. That's their job.
All right.
What do you guys think?
Do you think that's across all sports? Like, do you feel the refs in hockey and football are similar? And do you think the umpires? I mean, I guess the umpires in baseball kind of have a different situation, but do you feel like the refs in football have a better handle on things?
I mean, I think they do have a little bit better handle, but they could also control things too, because
right,
and it's hard too as far as every play you can have a hold and penalty,
and they have so many reviews in football,
right?
So many reviews in football.
And the basketball review, or you win a review, and then you at the end of the game you still lose a timeout. Like, what the hell? You just punished it, and they're almost like trying to, as they were talking, yesterday's game. Like they're almost forcing teams not to call, a challenge so that they don't upstage the referees, and to give them penalizing them by giving them their timeout when they actually won the challenge. Well, you just hurt that team. Like the Knicks made the challenge, and not that I care about the Knicks winning or not, but it wasn't fair to them that they lose their timeout in a close game when the penalty was going against them and it got changed around. So yeah, it's a little harder in some of the other sports, but yeah, basketball needs to do something though.
How about baseball? Particularly the home plate umpires, balls and strikes. How bad is that?
Oh, well, it's very bad this year.
It's really bad.
The problem is the Major League Baseball, I don't know if you've known this or heard me before, they're the least likely to move at a quick pace. So a robot umpire might take 7 million years at this rate. People don't like that. It's not right. It's not right. Well, if the umpires would make a call that's correct, maybe we wouldn't have to worry about it. But it seems like it happens a lot. I don't know if we're just more, now that everyone's got the baseball package, you can watch every game, you see more baseball. Maybe you're just noticing it more. But there are a lot of bad calls sometimes. So I don't know.
Sometimes.
Yeah.
Sometimes.
Yeah.
Wait till they get to. I mean, the guys are gonna have bruised heads from tapping their heads so much.
Yeah.
Balls and strikes anymore.
I mean, I don't know.
I think they have a helmet on.
There's one way to fix it, and that's have total robot umpires, and people will be up in arms about that. They're not going to like that. I don't like change. Why would we do that?
I like Andrew Oakley's comment that the refs were better when they could bet on the games.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
All right.
It's just tough. I don't know. Like you said, I mean, one of the pitches the other day was like 6 inches below the plate, and it was like, ridiculous. And then there's some right down the middle of the plate. I love when I have to go, go home and I can listen to Larry Anderson. He's like right down the middle for a ball. Like, it's like it's insane how I mean, yeah, the pitches are coming fast, but they've been trained, for a long time now that even though it's fast for us if we would stand behind the plate, for the first time, to do it, but those guys have seen pitches and for a long time that it's almost like us going to a little league game, the umpire at this stage. But
all right, this time of the night belongs to the Lawrence layup.
Okay.
Which one of these do you like?
Which one of these do I like? Well, I like the one of me holding the microphone. I like the mic drop one is funny.
Right.
Yeah, I can't really see the one where I have the oh, there it goes. Yeah, I like the 3 bottom ones probably the best.
There you go.
Yeah, I have such an angry face on the layup one, but
because you're excited.
It's I'm determined, I guess.
Yeah. Good.
All right, so this
like
one
that
is
one better than that one.
Oh God. That is so scary. People must have nightmares about that one.
What is it? What was that?
Oh, you didn't see it?
Why do I have a basketball on my head, and why am I sweating?
Well, you just been playing a rough game.
I don't.
You just
my
you
hair
just put
doesn't
on with
look
John
like
and I for an hour.
Exactly.
My hair doesn't look like I've played a rough game. My hair looks great. Anywho, all right. So this isn't a preference. This is as we officially just unlocked the door to summer, Memorial Day weekend. What are you most looking forward to this summer? Do you have a trip planned somewhere? Are you looking forward to just more baseball games, warmer weather? What's on your itinerary for the summer that you're most looking forward to? Or maybe you can't wait for preseason to start for football.
Yeah, less than 100 days.
Yeah.
What do you got? Anything good coming up that you guys are excited about?
I'm always excited to go down the shore.
Mm-hmm.
Shore's always a fun time because we always try to hit the same food spots that we like, and maybe try to mix in, a new one.
Right.
Yeah, the Shore's fun because, I think we all grew up, at the Shore, being from the PA side of the bridge, going to the Jersey Shore's always been fun. So yeah, for me, it's Shore, and I can never get enough baseball. So, I don't get nowhere near as much baseball as I should or could.
Okay.
Lauren's layups are the best. That's one George Young.
Yep. George.
Yep. Yep. There you go. Shawnee, put them down for the beach and the beers. Probably more the beers than the beach, I'm guessing.
No, I think he's a beach guy.
Hershey Park. One for Hershey Park. Me and my son have season passes. There you go. One for Hershey Park.
I mean, I've definitely been to Hershey Park at least once in my life, but I can't say I've been. Have you ever been to Hershey Park? You're not a roller coaster guy, so.
What about Dorney Park? Isn't Dorney all built up now, too?
It is.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Dutch Wonderland is right down the street from our Lancaster shelter. I hear a lot about that. Not nearly as big.
I just saw the O'Brien family that comes to our Buffalo Wild Wings shows, and they were at, am I saying this properly? Knoebels,
yeah.
Knoebels, yeah.
Knoebels. That looks like a fun spot.
Yeah, that's in Kutztown? No.
No, that's like up in
We've never been.
it's like Elysburg in central PA. It's free.
I'll bet the Pennsylvania Dutch food up there is just one to die for.
A lot of people camp there, which is very old school. It's free to get in.
Right.
You only pay for tickets. You can camp and bring your own food if you want to.
Yep.
Nice.
People really enjoy it. It's in the middle of nowhere. It's nice and quiet. So,
like the middle of nowhere.
Yeah.
Joe Stinger's coming home in July. I thought it was June, Joe Stinger. You told me June, not July.
Yeah.
Johnny, what do you got on the summer docket?
Summer, I'm a little bit bored. I mean, only because I'm can't go out in the heat too much these days. Otherwise, it would be baseball or baseball games.
I mean, last summer you had a big trip over the pond.
We did.
Yeah.
That was a good one.
Yeah.
But I guess I'd have to say probably, since we've been talking about this, the Chesapeake with the Dalton Foundation. Looking forward to that.
Okay. And remind me when that is again.
The first weekend of
football.
September. Well, yeah, it's like the 6th, 7th, something like that. Whatever that Sunday is.
Got it.
So yeah, yeah. I would always baseball games would be always the best. Otherwise, to go out and to go to the minor league games as well. Whenever the Phillies teams were in town or whatever, and would be good. But me in the heat, I can't travel in the heat too much.
Sure.
Well,
Tony, what do you got?
You drive in an air-conditioned car, and then you get Hall of Fame seats in air conditioning, so you're never in the heat.
Yeah, but you can't sit in the air conditioning and watch the game.
Right.
Well, you can in some spots. Lehigh Valley has club boxes where
Lehigh Valley.
Well, I'm just don't.
Can you actually get them, or are they all like season tickets up there?
Well, Ricky's always selling his tickets for up there, and that's one of his main things. It's air conditioning and food and this and that.
Front row Ricky was apparently in Reading yesterday.
Yes, he was.
He asked if you were there.
He was sitting first row too.
Wow.
Well, he always is front row Ricky.
Yeah, that's why I didn't know he was up there, up in the club boxes. He's always down in the front row.
Well, he has both. He has both. He has both sets of tickets. Yep. And you got to get to him because they sell fast. But anyway,
yeah.
Enough about that. Anthony, what's your favorite thing to do?
Nothing. I like last week when we went to see Chuck Stadium to see different stadium. I like to go see different minor league stadiums when we can, which is tough with our schedule because our schedule is very similar to most of those other teams.
Right.
but it's nice to get away to do that other than our normal stuff. The summer's very, very, very busy for me. So,
Yep.
yeah, sometimes I like to do nothing.
Do you like
most
Right.
busiest man in
toward
Reading.
the end of it?
Yeah, I like to look forward to the end of summer.
Mm-hmm.
And like September's nice. September's good.
September's a good one. Okay.
Yeah.
As long as the Claytons aren't in the playoffs.
Yeah,
They're terrible, so that won't happen.
We haven't had to worry about that in a little bit.
They're terrible. Yeah, I would say we've got a couple of weekend trips coming up that I'm excited for. We go to Pittsburgh, obviously, next weekend. We've got a week at the shore. I think I'm finally going to get back to Penn State for Arts Fest, so I'm excited for that.
Nice.
Probably been 10 or 11 years since I've been there. So I'll be really excited to go back to that and see some folks that I worked with when I was an intern for Arts Fest. And then we go back to Pittsburgh again towards the end of August for the Hall of Fame induction, which they haven't announced yet. And Anthony is chomping at the bit for that. I don't know why they take so long. The Phillies announced their guys, and we knew it was Jimmy Rollins and Ed Wade 2 months ago.
I think they try to sell tickets as they get closer because they haven't announced all their baubles yet. They announce them periodically to get more buzz. But yeah, he said not till June for the announcement for the Hall of Fame. So I don't know if that's beginning of June or end of June. But
right.
last couple of years has been May.
We'll do that at the end of August. So I like weekend trips places. Like Anthony said, I like going somewhere new. We like to check out the places that Chuck is working with, what teams he's got going on. And then my birthday is always around Labor Day. So that's always a fun way to kind of wrap up summer. It's always something going on. So it's a fun birthday to have because people are normally off and there's normally something going on. So I think this is the first year you guys don't have a game on my birthday in a while. Yeah, it's been a bit. So
nice.
Yeah.
Hey, while we're talking about shore and favorite places, shout out to Charlie's in Summers Point. I ran into him and the owner in Clearwater this past year, and I wasn't quite sure he knew who I was, but we had a handshake, and I'll see you this summer. So I'm hoping that handshake extends to a possible Wednesday night show in Charlie's on our vacation. So shout out to Charlie's in Summers Point. It's a great spot. You talk about good food. Oh my God. They got some unbelievable food.
They got really good buffalo chicken tenders that are really good there.
I follow them on Facebook, and man, they make good drinks too. Somebody said in the background.
Yeah, the orange crushes there are good.
Yep, there you go.
Do they have burgers there? Because otherwise, those buffalo tenders would be my go-to right there if they don't have burgers.
They have burgers.
Oh yeah,
they got great burgers. Yeah, they got great food. You can't even classify them as bar food. It's much better than that.
Wow, very nice.
Yeah, it's much better than that. The full run of seafood, just really good spot. But anyway, speaking of next week, Buffalo Wild Wings with our good pal Dan Baker and Richie Allen's son, Richard Allen Jr. So that should be exciting to talk some baseball with him and what it was like in the Allen family growing up, with his dad going in the Hall of Fame in July. That's going to be a good one. That's going to be a good one. It probably won't be as wild and crazy as our Darren Dalton Foundation event. Those were quite some photos that you put up, Lauren. That was a great photo.
Thank you.
Up. Yeah, that was awesome. So
I don't know. Dan's been talking. We're going to have a big crowd there.
All right. Well, they can handle a big crowd. So
yes, they can.
Yeah, it was fun seeing Milt and Tommy behind the bar and just everybody, getting photo ops, and the guys were great. The guys were great. The people from the foundation were awesome. So, but we're looking forward to next week, and then we head out to Pittsburgh within a few hours. So
And they announced Jim
Rooker.
Rooker as the alumni guy on the street.
Jim Rooker. Okay. Isn't
Yep.
Jim Rooker the guy who had to walk back?
I think it is.
Wasn't Jim Rooker who made the challenge on the game and lost, and he had to walk home or something?
I think so. That's when he was announcing, right?
Yes.
I had
That's
no
funny.
idea what you guys were talking about.
That's funny.
Well,
That's
the
funny.
Pirates went up like 9 or 10 to nothing in the first inning.
Yep.
And he said on the air, if the Phillies come back to win, I'm going to walk back to Pittsburgh. And
Did he?
And he did.
For charity.
Wow. How long did that take? Where were they playing?
Well, I don't think it was in the.
Well, he did it after the season.
The season was over.
He did it after the season. They came back and he made it like Anthony said for a charity thing. And Von Hayes hit 2 home runs that day.
Oh, so they were playing in Philly. So he had to walk from Philly to Pittsburgh.
Right.
Well, that's why they probably have him on that day.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Hey, look, Steve Jeltz is mentioned here on this Wikipedia thing.
Well, maybe it was Steve Jones. Maybe he had the 2 home runs.
Well, it says both Von Hayes and Steve Jeltz hit 2 home runs to trigger a Phillies comeback.
There you go.
I think Steve Jones hit one from both sides of the plate.
So
yeah,
Jim
Phillies
Rooker,
now trailing 11-10, scored the tying run on a wild pitch, then took the lead on Darren Dalton's 2-run single.
nice. So Jim Rooker's out there on Saturday.
Yep, he'll be
Nice.
signing from 2:30 to 3:30
Nice.
on the street, on Federal Street.
Nice.
I'll have
Very
to get
cool.
your dad a pair of sneakers with holes in them so you can get them to sign them.
That's pretty funny, John. That's actually funny.
What did he do? Like stop along the way to sleep?
Jim, I believe these are yours.
Yeah. Did you verify that these are your shoes that you wore?
All right. Well,
Yeah.
hey, great night, great conversation. Love talking sports with everybody. Great conversation. Thanks for everybody's input. And if you're in the area next Wednesday night, come see us. You can get photo ops with every one of us at Buffalo Wild Wings.
Definitely every one of us. I'm sure people are dying for a photo.
What's wrong with that group photo?
That's right.
Come on. No
We-
bigger celebrity than this fan's view. Come on. Come on.
People already been asking for autographed cards.
Come on.
I won't do it.
Uh,
I won't do it.
well, we're all going to do it, and you're going to be shamed into it. So
No, I'm not going to be ashamed of it. I'm going to not sign those cards like Steve Jeltz and that other one where the bat is messed up or it says a curse word at the bottom
it's
of
not
it. I'm gonna
him.
be like those guys.
It's not him in the photo.
Well, it's his name.
Who is
I'm-
it, John? Kim Batiste or somebody?
I believe it was Batiste. Yeah.
That's not me in that photo.
Okay.
I'm not signing
All
it.
right. Lauren's not signing, but if you buy her a drink, she will sign your card.
Nope.
Nope. Nope. All
Not
right.
doing
You
it.
heard it, folks. We're all signing but Lauren.
That's right.
She's sold
Anthony
out.
doesn't even have a card.
He's
All
getting one. He's
No, he
getting
said
one.
he's okay with that.
Anthony's
All
got
right.
one.
Johnny, see you on Friday.
Yep.
Anthony,
Yeah.
I'll see you on Friday. Lauren, I'll see you on Friday. And if you want to
Yes,
see
sir.
me, I'll be at the store tomorrow. So there you go.
Sounds good.
That's my itinerary for the next 2 days.
There you go.
See you
Have a
later.
great night, everybody. Thank you.